Hi, I'm Craig Birch here with Around the Board for Tungsten Tales, all the latest news from the PDC and BDO darts organisation. So let's fly straight into PDC news for a start. The UK Open is the big talk as we stand at the moment. The Premier League on Thursday and the next run of the Premier League this coming Thursday. But we had a shed load of UK Open qualifiers in the meantime. Friday, Saturday and Sunday, the 4th, 5th and 6th qualifiers making up, determining the top 96 in the UK Open order of merit. That will go to the finals at Minehead, Butlins in March, live on ITV4 to compete among themselves and against the 32 Riley's qualifiers, which are open qualifiers that have been staged all over the country to determine 32 players who will go to what they call the FA Cup of Darts, because anybody can enter. Well, anybody can enter well, there are some restrictions on who can enter the Riley's tournaments, but certainly the man in the street can, which is good, and we'll see some men in the street on the stage at Butlins Minehead. Obviously, that's how Rob Cross came to be as well, didn't he? He come for a Riley's qualifier, joined the Challenge Tour, won the Challenge Tour, and then went on that unlikely run of becoming a world champion as well. But it's certainly been very difficult for Rob since winning the World Championship. The television viewers will have seen him struggling in the Premier League in the first two runs of that. 7-2 defeat to Michael van Gerwen on the opening night, and a 7-1 drubbing he suffered at the hands of Simon Whitlock last Thursday. But the worm may have turned for Rob Cross over last weekend. The 4th, 5th and 6th UK Open qualifiers. Bear in mind he went into that weekend looking in real danger with the way he was playing of not making the cut for the UK Open finals. But Rob had something to say about that, and the luck that he's enjoyed so much of in recent months seems to have come back with him. Not just luck as well, he's played well on the floor without pressure, without the TV cameras there, and 2 semi-finals and a final over the course of the weekend. Yes, he didn't win a PDC ranking title, but he got back to form a little bit, and that's certainly going to do him no harm at all going forward. He reached the semi-finals on Friday, but the big talking point on Friday was Gary Anderson. Gary Anderson has been suffering with back problems at the start of the Premier League. It's obvious he's playing in pain at the moment, but he played through the pain on Friday to reach the final of the UK Open qualifier 4 and beat Jeffrey Deswan 6-2 to claim a PDC ranking title. So Gary's certainly going about his business despite the obvious discomfort he's in at the moment, and had a very good Friday in the UK Open qualifiers, and played a lot of darts and ultimately won the ranking title. Saturday, we looked like it was going to be Rob Cross's day. He got to the final and was 4-1 up, the world champion was, against the young Australian Corey Cadby, and he managed to lose 6-4. So Cadby claims his first PDC ranking title just a month on from coming through Q School and winning a Pro Tour card. So Corey Cadby certainly the talk among everyone on Saturday, but obviously the backdrop of that was Rob sort of being in the picture, in the final picture again to make the UK Open qualifiers, and he looked a bit like the Rob Cross along the way as well. Sunday, Krzysztof Ratajewski 6, Darryl Gurney 4 in the final. Ratajewski finished 3rd on the order of merit, on the UK Open order of merit, due to that title win on the Sunday as well. Michael Smith finished 2nd, and top of the pile was Michael van Gerwen. Michael didn't compete in the 4th, 5th and 6th UK Open qualifiers in Wigan over the weekend. He thought he'd done enough with the 2 ranking titles that take him to 100 ranking titles playing PDC darts, and he was proved right as well, because he still finished top of the order of merit. The draw for rounds 1 and 2 of the UK Open have already been made. Obviously there's the Riley's qualifiers still some of them to be decided as well. For instance, here in Wolverhampton where I live, they've got another qualifier on Saturday where 2 players will be produced for that one. So we're not going to completely know the makeup for the first round, and certainly the makeup for the second round for quite some time. The second round probably won't be decided until we know the end of the first round in many instances. But the first round of the UK Open, the draw has been made for the first and the second round. So I'll just pick what I believe to be the standout ties for them, if I may. Round number 1, Paul Nicholson versus Terry Jenkins. Both have played at a very high level in the PDC in the past. They've won titles between them as well, and they're going to clash in the very first round of the UK Open finals as well. So maybe Butlins at Minehead, round 1, that's certainly one they would probably need to look at getting on the telly, to be honest. I think that's going to be a good game. Round 2 undoubtedly is James Wilson versus Gerwin Price. I'd be very surprised if that's not televised live as well. And obviously the third round draw will be made on stage at Minehead, where the big guns come in, your Van Gerwens, your Gary Andersons, so on and so forth. And then the tournament will really start kicking into gear, but there's a hell of a lot of darts to get through for all that. It's really a busy tournament, the UK Open, and you can watch all of that live on ITV4 when it gets going as well. But yeah, plenty of darts to in the meantime. The Premier League in Newcastle on Thursday is the next stop for the PDC. Michael van Gerwen versus Gary Anderson. That could be a very, very interesting clash on Thursday. Gary's going to certainly have to play through the pain again to see off Michael, although Michael did lose to Peter Wright last Thursday as well. And Peter Wright, he's doing very well, to be honest. He looks like he's backing forward, back to the form we know. He looks comfortable again on stage. Looks like he's got the right set of darts as well. I know he couldn't decide on his darts much, could he? 4 semis in 6 over the course of the European qualifiers for Peter Wright, the scalper van Gerwen in the Premier League. And come Thursday, he's got Rob Cross, so the world champion as well. We'll see. The world champion's going to have to play something like he did on the floor in the UK Open qualifiers, well, because with Peter playing so well, that could certainly be the standout game at Thursday as well. Let's say Van Gerwen and Anderson might have something to say about that as well. Menza Suljovic versus Michael Smith. Michael's been playing very well so far in 2018, both on the floor and in the Premier League as well. Menza Suljovic still finding his feet in the Premier League a little bit, but he's never normally too far away, Menza. So it could be an interesting clash between him and Smith as well. Daryl Gurney versus Gerwin Price is another interesting. Both of it's been a bit of the good, bad, and the ugly in the Premier League so far for both players, and providing they don't draw, someone will get back to winning ways and hopefully climb up towards Premier League. Well, certainly take one step closer to Premier League safety as it was. And you've also got Simon Whitlock versus Raymond van Barneveld as well. Whitlock obviously on the back of that 7-1 win over Cross. Barney also winning ways after last week's Premier League as well. So it looks like we're in for a real good night of darts in Newcastle for the Premier League on Thursday. The BDO had their county weekend last weekend, so obviously all of their daughters were away with their respective county teams. They've got the Scottish Open this weekend, and there'll be no chance of Cameron. Obviously, Cameron Menzies is now a part of the PDC, so he won't be back to defend his title that he won last year. The Scotsman won the Scottish Open, as we remember last year. Obviously, Menzies is now with the PDC, so we will have a new Scottish Open champion. And it seems to be a bit of a poison challenge, the Scottish Open, because only Robbie Green has ever successfully defended it. He did so a couple of 3 years ago. So, yeah, the BDO Scottish Open, always a big tournament, always very well populated, and plenty of interest in that. So, certainly a good weekend of BDO darts to be had up in Scotland as well. I'm Craig Birch, and we will look forward to seeing you next week.